want to introduce someone who I really believe in, a fighter in Congress, Congresswoman Delia Ramirez.
Well, good evening, everyone. As I'm hearing Elijah speak so clearly about choosing humanity over war, choosing diplomacy over conquest, I'm all fired up. I got goosebumps. And you know why? Because the 120th Congress next January is going to look very different from the Congress we have right now. Because what I'm seeing around the country is voters, young, older, diverse, going out and voting for the kind of leader that is going to prioritize humanity, dignity, and justice over conquest, imperialism, and corruption and corporations. So as you heard, I'm Congresswoman Delia Ramirez, and look, oftentimes I tell people, it is the greatest honor of my life to serve in Congress. I've been in Congress now for 3.5 years, and on January 7th, when we finally got sworn in, 3.5 years ago, after McCarthy eventually got his votes, 4 days after we were supposed to get sworn in, I became the very first Latina in the entire Midwest to go to Congress. And it's been an honor. It's been an honor. But I'm going to tell you what the greatest privilege and honor of my life is. That before that title, I am the proud daughter of Maria Elvira Ramirez, a Guatemalan immigrant. A woman who walked and marched through jungles, deserts, and tunnels, pregnant with me in her first trimester, with third-grade education, coming from deep poverty, who just wanted to give her daughter a little bit better life than the life she had in that small village in Guatemala, Concepcion Las Minas. And if you would have told that woman as she nearly drowned in the Rio Grande because of our immigration system, that one day her daughter would be a member of Congress, it would have been unimaginable to her. But here I am, because I understand what my mother taught me. She taught me to recognize our shared humanity, to see the connections between my familia in Guatemala, my tias in Humboldt Park, my cousins who are still in Atlanta and other parts, and the struggle of women, whether it's Ukraine, Congo, Palestine, or Lebanon. You see, her wisdom led me to understand that my peace, that my safety, and that my well-being is interconnected with your well-being, with your safety, and the well-being of others around the globe. And that true safety is not brought into our lives at the end of a barrel of a gun, by a bomb, or via a chokehold of suppression and oppression. And yet across the globe, you and I both see what is happening. You see the confronting act of violence that we are seeing everywhere. And it's connected with what we're seeing here, right, Elijah? The cuts to services Americans rely on, mass detention and deportations, attack on human rights defenders, people who are protesting ICE in Texas getting 70 years in prison for exercising their freedom of speech. We are seeing it here. But what we are seeing here is not something that we haven't seen in other parts of the world. Because across the globe, we see warmongers, authoritarians, despots, and oligarchs who want our resources. They want our land, they want our freedoms, they want our lives. Why? So that they can advance their imperialistic, authoritarian agenda and enrich themselves after the pain of everyday people and children around the world. And I've said it before, friends, but $1.5 trillion tells me that we are addicted to war. And we have to call out that addiction. We have to imagine, what would we do with $1.5 trillion for healthcare, for housing, for education, for diplomacy? What kind of world would we be if in fact we were prioritizing humanity over war? And so for me, it's really important that as a member of Congress, as someone that serves the top Democrat in oversight for veteran affairs, as someone that serves in the Homeland Security Committee, that we understand that our security of the interconnected with the security and stability of the globe. And that we cannot guarantee the safety of Americans through this peace through strength model, where we don't understand the power of soft power when we actually invest in diplomacy and in actual international development. And I'll tell you, I had the opportunity when I went to Guatemala almost 3 years ago, at a time where there was a change of leadership and the new president was about to get sworn in. A number of senators and House representatives came to have a conversation with the previous administration about how important it was for there to be a peaceful transfer of power. And as I was there, I had the opportunity to visit the USAID office in Guatemala. And I have to tell you that the stories I heard, mostly from indigenous women, about how USAID has literally saved lives, given opportunity for children who otherwise would die in poverty, reminds me how incredibly important it is for Congress to spend the money that's already been appropriated and to make sure that that 2 penny pledge in